Hi, this is Danielle. Welcome to the Simpler Options free video for the night of October 22nd, which is a Monday. So, today I'm going to be talking about Microsoft in the context of the earnings report. So, I know we've been talking about the run up into earnings, talking about long XLK, long Microsoft, and long term holding accounts. Which still I think are fundamentally sound, even though we've had quite a bit of volatility the past 2 weeks or so. But I think a lot of that is going to be answered this week. So, you got two options, all right? You can sit on the sides, wait it out, which there is nothing wrong with that, and see how this earnings week, how it's going to play out. Or two, we can trade earnings, okay? So, I'm going to go through some ideas. First of all, I've been talking about the run into earnings in Microsoft. Now, the one that I am in, I got in around here, so I'm still a little bit underwater on it. Of course, as you can see now, the best entry would have been right here on this low, which, by the way, if you come over to your my grid with the Ready Aim Fire, you can see the Ready Aim Fire is pretty good about calling that type of thing. It didn't get it with the major purple arrow, but generally pretty good, at least on the daily chart or on the lower time frame chart. I mean, especially like the 195. I like to use that one a lot. That one called almost the perfect low there. But at that point, I had kind of scaled in a little bit. Oh, looks like that arrow's a little bit off. I had scaled in to the point where I really just was not comfortable adding more of a position size on here, so I did not add more on the lows, but I'm still holding my Microsoft longs, and I'm going to wait until tomorrow, right before the market closes, to close them. So we'll see if one more day can get us another push higher with this 195 and the Ready Aim Fire buys that we got there. So, okay, so you got the plan, right? Long-term XLK, long-term Microsoft, and a long-term holding account. Short-term calls that I'm going to sell before the earnings report. Maybe I'll hold on to one or two. And then it comes down to the earnings report, right? So I'm going to trade Microsoft earnings. So how am I going to do that? Well, first of all, I will set up the trades with the exact strikes right before market close tomorrow in the trading room. So hope to see you there. Right now, I'll give you some examples, but it might change depending on where the price is at tomorrow. So looking at this using my earnings analysis graph, you can see that overwhelmingly Microsoft reports or trades higher after reporting earnings. You have 1, 2, 3 instances here where Microsoft was slightly down. Yeah, this was a little bit more than slightly down. But for the most part, overwhelmingly, Microsoft trades positive. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen this time, but I think we have a high probability opportunity here to trade that. Now, you'll notice this one quarter that it did gap down a little bit lower. You went into earnings extended. So what's different about this quarter? Well, we're not extended here. We're trading at 109.63. You're really just kind of in a congestion mode and you're not extended. So I'm more comfortable trading a fundamentally strong company to the long side when I have a situation where price is not extended. Now, there's a couple things you could do with this. You could pick a direction, which I'm going to. I'm going to pick the long side. Or you could say, hey, you know what? There's some congestion going along here. I'm just going to bet for a neutral move, and I'm going to sell an at the money iron fly at 110 bucks because vols are increased, and I'm going to hope that this is going to trade sideways and I'm going to collect theta decay. I don't think that's a bad plan at all, actually. Looking at where we're trading at 109.63, and you have an expected move of $4.85. Okay, so if you come in here and you say, all right, well, how do I play a neutral play in this? And by the way, this setup is setting up everywhere because of the volatility, we're seeing a situation where your premium is kind of high. And when you're looking at something like this and you're saying, okay, well, I don't know which way it's going to move, but you have a $4.85 expected move. Let's set our iron fly $5 wide. Okay, what can I get for that? 355. So these are really excellent. These are really excellent risk to reward situations. I mean, risking $145 a contract for maximum 355, and of course, you can, if it moves up, you can take off the lower end for a profit, and then when it moves back down, you could take off the higher leg for a win in a perfect world. So that's an easy way to sell some premium over earnings. Where do you lose money? Well, you lose money if it blasts outside of this range. What do you lose? You lose a pretty small amount. So overall, I think it's a good way to pay to play. What's another way you could get involved here? Oh, and keep in mind on that iron fly, it's going to depend on what Microsoft is trading at right before the close tomorrow. It could be trading at 115 tomorrow. It could be trading at 105. So the center strikes are supposed to be whatever it's trading at. Now, what if you just want to be bullish? If you're like, nope, it's going to go higher, what should I do? Well, the easiest thing I think to do is to just sell, put credit spread on it. So come in here and say, okay, well, I'm going to sell, just make it as wide as you want based on what you're willing to risk. I personally like mine tighter because I don't really care to have a $5 wide spread where I'm only getting $1.68. I would much rather sell, $3 wide for $1.14. That risk reward is better. And honestly, even better is the $2 wide. So people always ask, well, how wide should I make it? And I mean, personally, for me, I look at it this way. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong, okay? My short strike is going to be here because that's what is I'm going to choose at the money because that's what's going to give me the most premium to sell. If I sell it lower, I'm not going to have as much premium. And if I'm wrong and I get hammered, I'm going to get even more hammered. And we don't want that. So what do I want to do? Well, really what I want to do is at the money, best risk reward situation I could get. So what is that? Well, $2 wide, you're risking almost 1-to-1, not quite, but yeah, it's close. And then if you widen it out a little bit more, your risk reward situation just gets a little bit worse. So you can kind of look at that, play with that a little bit, see what you're comfortable with. But I think those are two good ways to play Microsoft. The third way that I like it is with the unbalanced fly. So buy an unbalanced butterfly, give you about $5 of room to the downside, something like this. 110, 105, 100, something like that, and see if you can get a credit for it. But I also really like that as well. So might have to do it $4 wide just to get might have to do it $4 wide to get a credit. But yeah, I mean, overall, bullish Microsoft, and I sure hope I'm right because I think that if Microsoft is able to pull off some nice earnings and shake off some of the fears that people are having surrounding this market, surrounding tariff news and all that, I think it'll really help the upside of the market. So that is my take. I'll walk through it tomorrow in the trading room with you and hope to see you there. Have an awesome rest of your night.